No doubt about that. 888-957-9570. What do I do like about Trace Jackson Davis? He did play under Mike Woodson, who's got a lot of NBA pedigree. You may not say he's a successful
Atlanta
NBA
Hawks.
coach, Atlanta Hawks, New York Knicks, but he does have an NBA pedigree, and that does mean something to me. NBA principles playing out there as a Hoosier. So,
and if you're going to say it, like, you got a guy like Moses Moody who Musselman played,
right,
or coached, obviously for the Warriors, and you could see some of that savvy, that maturity from Moses Moody, even though, like, quite honestly, it's been an underwhelming pick thus far.
So far, but when he plays, it's like, boy, this guy can't play.
I
it's
like
just Steve
Moses
Kerr's
Moody.
got to play him.
Well,
Steve Kerr's got to play
he's
him.
a great example of someone, as we're like evaluating the Chris Paul trade. He's a great. I thought he'd be farther along.
Yeah.
I thought he would be able to supplement the core, supplement the deficiencies defensively on the perimeter, knock down some threes. That's what you're looking for in free agency, in the draft. 3-and-D guy who's long and can rebound a little. We just haven't seen enough of him.
Let's go to 888-957-9570. Shameless shout-outs coming up at 7:45. Save your shout-out, 7:45. Let's go to Brian at San Leandro. Brian, real quick at San Leandro. What's happening? You're on the roast.
Hey, guys. Just like everybody else, I've been trying to figure out how CP3 is going to fit and how it's going to make us better. And I kind of realized that the Warriors' philosophy changed from, having the future playing with the guys that are trying to win right now to just maybe getting them one more championship. And I do think Chris Paul will benefit us next year. One of our biggest issues was turnovers, and that causes a lot harder opportunities on defense when the ball is being turned over left and right, especially with our second unit being run by slip and slide Jordan Poole. So I think that having a floor general out there and managing the other guys and limiting turnovers, and you guys were talking earlier about CP3 not being a good defender. Well, not turning the ball over and having yourself set up on defense makes everybody a better defender.
No doubt.
So I think that's a major that's going to be a major plus and an impact on our defense, especially with the second unit. I also think that days that Curry and Clay might need a day off, he can go in the one, and then one of them can go in the two. Curry is a glorified, shooting guard. He plays point, but he's always off the ball anyway. So I think that, if Clay's out, he could slide the two, and we can run it like that, and they can have a lot more rest days and prevent injury for each other. But overall, I just feel like the philosophy changed from, being greedy and trying to have this young group come up and then completely take over when the old guys say goodbye. What do you guys think?
No, that's a very calculated take and a very good take, Brian and San Leandro. Very well thought out there about that take, and there's a lot I agree with there. When Steph Curry takes a day off, Chris Paul's going to start. Now you say, are they going to be able to push the pace? He's going to be able to pass it forward. Well, maybe they play a little slower. Who knows how that's going to work out? I'm very intrigued to see how Chris Paul adapts to this Golden State Warriors system. Or will Steve Kerr finally say, you know what? I'm going to tinker it and cater to Chris Paul when he does start. Defensively, look, 80% of the league don't play defense. Let's just keep it a buck. But Chris Paul at 38 years old does get picked on defensively, and he's smaller. That's going to be a problem for the Golden State Warriors if they don't get rim protection. Now, they have to try to do that somehow, some way. Maybe there's another move in play. I have no idea. But a lot of what Brian and San Leandro said, I agree with Shasky.
But okay, Jordan Poole was a turnover machine. Jordan Poole did have horrific shot selection.
Horrific.
So did Klay Thompson. Both of those things.
Doubt.
Okay? And then, like, this whole thing about Draymond Green as a point guard, because that's what he plays on offense. He plays old school Mark Jackson style point guard. I know we don't view him that way, but that's the way he plays. Good. Okay, very good assist to turnover ratio in the NBA is typically 3 to 3.5 to 1, meaning 3 to 3.5 assists to 1 turnover. Draymond's been closer to 2.5 to 1, which is not good for someone who holds the ball as much as he does, and he's not willing to take shots. So not only is he turning the ball over, he's congesting the back end of your offense because people aren't honoring him. So where I have a hard time,
that's a turnover. That's basically a turnover.
Exactly. So where I have a hard time is pinpoint everything's on JP. It's like, well, wait a minute, guys. Clay needs to be more efficient as well. I'm not taking, and I think CP3 can help Clay when they're overlapping minutes and they're playing together. I think it will really help him. Where I get worried is how many overlapping minutes are you going to have with Draymond and Chris Paul playing together? Because when the two of them are out there, I think the offense is going to be really, really congested.
Well, it might be. But Chris Paul can hit an open shot. Like, let's not get it twisted. Chris Paul did shoot 37.5% from the three-point line last year.
No doubt.
He did shoot 44% from the floor and averaged 14 points and 9 assists. So
that was when he was starting and was playing 30 minutes, and I don't think his role's that big.
Well, he started with KD and them, and then he got hurt. And KD, you got to remember, KD played 2 games with the Suns and boom, got hurt.
Yeah, he barely
played with Chris.
Yeah, he barely played.
But Chris Paul did help the Phoenix Suns go to the finals a couple seasons ago.
But there's give and take, right?
There's
We
a
all
give and
agree.
take.
There's
Let's not.
and
Efficiency is very important on this basketball team.
Absolutely.
Chris Paul's he's a lot more efficient than Jordan Poole. Let's just keep it as much as I love Jordan Poole, and I hate
was
saying
on the
that.
bench in the fourth quarter.
He was.
So, like, I hear you.
But overall, he was a lot more efficient than Jordan Poole.
Of course.
Jordan Poole, even though he averaged 25 points a game as a starter, as opposed to 15 as a bench player, the numbers in terms of percentages were still the same as a starter.
Who's arguing that JP's efficient? No one.
Well, that's a problem.
But he doesn't play at the end of games.
He still played 30 minutes a game.
Yeah,
and
but not at the end. They lost games in the fourth quarter in the playoffs because they couldn't stop a nosebleed.
But you just talk about 13 games where he wasn't playable in the playoffs. During the regular season, when they were losing all these road trips, they were put in that Fast Five lineup.
Oh, no doubt.
They had to go away from the Fast Five lineup because they were not efficient enough.
No, I hear you. So now you're going to go, let's say you're going to go a Fast Five lineup. Now you got CP3, Clay, and you got Curry out there. Those are negative defenders.
But offensively, you're going to get some great shots, right?
That's a lot on Wiggins and Dre.
But you're going to get some great shots.
So to me,
you're going to
that's
get some
not
great
good
shots
enough to win in
offensively.
the West.
But no doubt about it.
I'm
not saying that at all. But you are a hell of a lot more efficient offensively. You're going to be able to create better shots than you did like Game 4 against the LA Lakers.
You sat here and argued for the last month. Offense isn't that much of a problem. And now we're sitting here saying, well, there'll be more better offensively. To me, their biggest problem was athleticism, perimeter defense, and a rim protector. Those are what they needed. More size. They needed more perimeter defense. So that's why, look,
but but we don't know if you're going to get that with Jordan Poole. We don't know what his value. There's a lot of GMs who could say now that Jordan Poole, his season was a fluke. And let's be real, Jordan Poole's in play for money. And you know how I feel about players in contract years. You're going to get the best out of them.
Yeah.
And maybe that was the case with Jordan Poole.
Maybe.
I don't think so. But maybe that was the case. We'll have to see.
See, but if you're going to make moves of any magnitude, to me, it's about winning a championship and getting yourself all the way to the top of the stack. And for me, that's where this one, unless it's for something else down the line, this falls short.
Are you a better team today than you were yesterday?
Incrementally, but not enough to move the needle in the West.
But you're a better team, though, right?
Incrementally.
So it's a start. It's a start.
It doesn't feel like a start. It feels like a finish spot. You know? And here's the other part. If you don't retain Draymond, now I think you're worse.
Well, I think they're assuming that they're going to retain Draymond. We'll see about that. Let's go. Oh, man. Going up to Sacramento? Ryan Hensley? Is this the 49er guy?
Yeah. What's going on, guys? How you doing, man?
What's up, Ryan? What's going on?
Hey, man, I just, just my thoughts on this Warriors. Jordan Poole, he just was never going to work with Draymond on the same team, obviously, right? And I think they're just focusing on right now, like, winning right now while you got Steph Curry. The window's like 2 to 3 years, maybe. So they just went all in on Steph Curry. Chris Paul's going to give you what Jordan Poole wasn't. Jordan Poole's a super talented player. He may go to Washington and just ball out. But it just wasn't a good fit. It wasn't going to work with the Warriors. He didn't want to be little brother to Steph Curry. He didn't want to listen to Kerr from what I've heard. So I think they just had to do it, freed up a ton of cap space. And it's about winning right now.
But how does it make you better than the Kings? How does it make you better than the Lakers? How does it make you better than the Nuggets?
Well, there are better than the Kings. They beat the Kings last year.
They beat the Kings because Steph's dropped 50 in a game 7.
They beat the Kings. He dropped 50. That's what's great about Steph. He can drop 50. Go ahead, Ryan. Finish up.
But that's the thing is, they're not done, right? So we got to see how what else they do.
Right.
Like, I agree with what Joe's talking about. They need to be more athletic. They need to be better defenders. They need all that. But are they done? If they're not done, we still might be okay here.
What's the next domino then?
We don't know. We don't know. And I'm not going to assume what the next domino is. I didn't know that domino was going to fall yesterday. I don't know what's going on in those rooms at Chase Center. But I get the financial flexibility you had to create for yourself. And look, here's a text from the 510. Text from the 510. Comcast Business text line. And I understand that, man. If you're Joe Lacob and you're Steve Kerr. Dre, Steph, and Clay built this house. JP is getting too much credit for decorating the room while being horrible to 3 other seasons. Now, I wouldn't say he was horrible to 3 other seasons, But if you're going to pick one, it's obvious they were going to pick Draymond Green. They've talked about it. Steve Kerr's talked about it. We're not a championship contender without Draymond Green. We don't have to believe that, but that's what the head coach believes. The head coach who helped them win 4 rings. That's what he believes. You know what I'm saying? They believe they're a lot worse without Draymond Green. I believe they're a lot worse without Draymond Green. I've been very critical of Draymond over the last month of the season, or the last month here on the Morning Roast. But they're a lot worse without Draymond Green because of the IQ, the brain. And that's where it's Chris Paul's. Right now, the difference, even though Chris Paul is 15 years older, 14 years older than Jordan Poole,
it's smaller.
It's the IQ.
Okay.
It's the IQ.
But you were far away from the. Can we all admit this? You were far away from a championship this year.
I don't know if you're far away. I don't know. I'm not gonna go down that road
all year.
I'm not gonna go down that road. The cohesion was awful. If they were say all things were perfect, and it wasn't, and I get that. I'm not in the camp that believes that Denver is just going to smoke the Warriors, because the Warriors are a bad matchup for the Denver Nuggets. Curry gets Jokic to come out there on the 3-point line, and it's barbecue chicken.
Can we give the Nuggets a little bit
I'm
of credit?
giving them credit. I gave them a lot of credit.
They were dominant
but I'm
all year.
not.
They're
we
younger.
got Steph.
They're in their
Do you
prime.
understand how dominant
Yeah,
Steph
but
is?
Steph's going to miss 20 games like he does every year, and that's not
in
a
the
knock.
playoffs in the
He's
Western
amazing.
Conference Finals. He ain't missing no games.
He's also toward the end of his career. Like, you're going to get a slight drop off. No one is saying he's not. He's a legend. He's Montana of basketball.
Like, you truly believe that Miami Heat team's beating the Warriors in a 7-game series?
But that's the East.
So you had to get past Denver, and I get it. Denver was connected
and the
this year.
Lakers. The
They
Lakers
were balling.
smoked you.
They did smoke them.
They present really bad matchup problems. And I also think that the Kings are going to be better. Keegan Murray's going to be a year older and better in his prime. De'Aaron Fox now has that experience. I think we're really sleeping on other teams in the West. I'm not saying that the
Nobody's
Warriors can't still be. They're a year older. They're smaller. They're less athletic. Like, we have to acknowledge the other teams in the West.
I've been trying to do that all year. Well, welcome to my world. But who's better in the West right now? Is Memphis better right now in the West?
No, I don't think so. And they're going to miss Ja for 25 games. I don't think so.
Let's see what Sacramento does. Let's see what Sacramento does. Who did they add? I don't know who they add.
Are they ascending?
They are.
And they've cleared a lot of cap space.
They are,
and
but I don't know who they're going to get.
I know, but they feel like they're in a really good spot right now to land something that's going to really help them. I like their nucleus. And if I'm betting on one player moving forward who would be fun to play with, it wouldn't be a De'Aaron Fox if I was looking around the league.
But Domantas Sabonis, what if they
that's a
extend
great
him?
question.
What if they extend him? Are we really afraid of Domantas Sabonis? We watched him in the first round.
I know, but he had a great year. And, you look up, the series didn't go great by the eyeball test. You look up, though, they dragged it to a Game 7.
They should have. They had home court advantage. They were up 2-0. They lost 4 of the last 5 games. They lost 4 of the last 5 games. Let's be real. Give the Warriors credit for winning that series. Let's not act like Sacramento wasn't the number 3 seed in the Western Conference.
I know, and that's what I'm saying, is that the Warriors had a horrific year this year, and we all thought they're still a champion, and a team that you're dismissing, who had the number 3 seed, took them all the way to Game 7, and it took an iconic performance from one of your all-time players to get through them.
Come on.
Then you went up against Anthony Davis, and he ate your lunch money.
Hold on, Shasky. Dismissing the Sacramento Kings?
I did that all year.
You did that, not me.
And I'm
I
wrong.
told y'all Sacramento was going to be a problem.
But
the Warriors went out there and won the series. They get credit for that. They won the series. Despite Draymond being suspended for a game, they won that series. Despite Jordan Poole not doing a damn thing in that series. What did Jordan Poole do in that series?
The Warriors are
They still won that series without Jordan Poole. They still won that series with Klay Thompson struggling. Come on, man.
Come on, what?
Come on, Sacramento.
They were lucky to get to the second round and got beat by a better team in the Lakers,
now they were lucky.
Who's going to reload,
now
who has options. All I'm saying is, guys...
They took that series from Sacramento. Did they not? They took that series from them. Okay. Lucky?
They were lucky.
They were down 0-2 and took 4 or 5 from them. Took it from them. They were lucky to win Game 5.
We were all sitting on the edge of our seats for an entire half going, oh my God, Curry's got 35 at half. Can they maintain this? They got to do this. They're going to lose. That's all I'm saying. Come on, y'all.
Come on,
Sacramento's in their prime. We're older. It's fair to sit here and go, damn, you got older and smaller and less athletic, and you're worried about financial flexibility? Whoa. We're supposed to be maximizing the Steph Curry years. We don't know how many more we got.
Yeah, well,
if he drops off a little, we're in real trouble.
They're trying to do that with the financial flexibility. They're trying to do that. Let's go to Father.